Holy Mother of God. This chapter of Chainsaw Man literally just changed everything we thought we knew about Chainsaw Man. And this isn't just some title to get you guys to click on the video. For real, everything we knew about this series has just changed thanks to Futanari. So let's break it all down and more. If you love Chainsaw Man, then this is the channel for you. We cover new chapters of Chainsaw Man once they drop, and let me tell you, you do not want to miss any video going forward, so subscribe, like the video, and share it out with your friends. So before we get into all of the craziness of this chapter, let's build up to that with the first moments of this chapter. Yoshida and Asa are squaring off. The latter has just lost her arm, and Yoshida apologizes for what he is about to do to her, and what makes this worse for them is that Yoshida apologizes for doing this, especially after following Asa's advice. Also, an important note is that, remember, once Asa feels pain, that's usually when Yoru takes over. So considering that, while I believe Asa's character is in limbo, she can't just die here. She is definitely going to survive this, and I think the key to that is Yoru taking over. However, while I'm not worried for Asa's life, I am for Yoshida's life, as we know Yoru is very trigger happy and is very okay with killing people like Denji, who, whether Asa feels this way yet or not about him, clearly likes him to some degree. As well, we do know that Asa and Yoru are both changing, so maybe Yoshida survives this because as Asa grows to take on more traits of Yoru, becoming more hardened and badass, Yoru is also taking on the softer traits of Asa too. So it goes both ways for them. So we switch perspectives to Denji and Fumiko, who are listening to Barum after he sings Kumbaya, my lord. He starts to reveal something, and I don't think a single person really 100% theorized what we just witnessed here for this arc, so this is pretty interesting. Barum revealed that the Justice Devil grants contractors the power to transform into the form they desire, which is all true, except the name of the devil. Turns out that Fami, like we had all surmised, is a part of this plan, but not in the way we thought. They used Fami's pawns to basically contract as many followers as possible with a specific devil, which is revealed to be the Fire Devil. As this is revealed, we see a small crowd witness a fire in some office buildings. Each and every one of them have chainsaws burst from their heads, just like Chainsaw Man, in a very disturbing moment, and I guarantee you that this scene will be one which we will always remember as being iconic, especially once the anime hits. Even Katana Man and Nobara Kugisaki witnessed the same thing at the Chainsaw Man church as well. And I do like the touch of Katana Man yelling out Chainsaw Man. I like this detail as an aside because it shows that he's not forgotten that time when Denji and Aki went sicko mode on his scrot. I also would keep this in mind because while Denji is connected to public safety in some way, I imagine this will be a hurdle for them to get over in their working relationship, because I do think at this point, these two are going to hook back up, so to speak. After all, he and Sawatari did kill our precious eye-patched alcoholic groomer MILF tomboy waifu best girl or something. However, Barum revealed that the Fire Devil has another power, which is the more contractors, the stronger their power gets. Although, most of them will lose control of themselves. This is somewhat reminiscent of the Zombie Devil to a degree, where those contracted with the Zombie Devil become mindless and are controlled solely by it. We see this as the people affected start to rip each other apart, eating at each other, chopping others in half. Pretty hard stuff to look at, pretty gruesome stuff to look at. However, with the Fire Devil, there is a percentile which will remain in control of their body, so I wonder if we'll see that in action in this arc or any time in the series. I bet it could lead to some interesting dynamics. Also, is the fake Chainsaw Man the Fire Devil or just a pawn that retained control? If it were my guess, I'd say there could be a chance of that, considering that fake Chainsaw Man tried to warn and help Denji, which makes it seem like he's experienced something that no others have experienced, right? But let me know what you think in the comments below about that theory specifically. What's most interesting though is that at first those contracts would take these gruesome forms, but now over time, they're starting to look more and more like Chainsaw Man. So does this mean the head of the church and even Yuko were imperfect transformations? If that's the case, were all of those affected by the Fire Devil meant to look like Chainsaw Man from the start? Well, obviously, yeah, I think that's the case. Fumiko also asks Barum why today though, and so he reveals that at 5 o'clock, there were mass weddings held in China and Canada, which during said weddings, they'd all enter into contracts with the Fire Devil, and it was a success. Over 350,000 people went under contract with the Fire Devil, and so even Barham now calls them devils, not humans, which I imagine is an important distinction which will come into play in some form, so remember that, you dirty, filthy simps. This, though, basically means that the Fire Devil was just supercharged, and while we have no comparison or relative comparison, I'd surmise that the Fire Devil is already one of the more stronger devil in the series overall now. I mean, you would have to be right. 350,000 people is no small number. Also, I like how the Fire Devil grows stronger with more people contracted to it. It's pretty clever because think about it, fire in real life is stronger the larger it gets, right? And we see that in our new depressing day-to-day reality of these wildfires. So I thought Fujimoto was really clever in tackling it from that perspective and implementing fire in this way. As well, Barham reveals that in half a year, the Great King of Terror will descend and Famy and Barham aim to kill the king. And I hope that was a Rainbow reference. And by the way, don't look up Kill the King by Rainbow. It'll make me look older than Milli Vanilli references. Joking slightly aside, Barham revealing this completely changes everything we once knew about Chainsaw Man and its world. We thought the Gun Devil and Makima were bad. I mean, we thought that Famy was going to be bad, but in reality, maybe they're a little bit more gray as they're trying to kill the King of Terror. I mean, it's still bad. They're mass killing people, but hey, you know, they're trying to take down the King of Terror. And while Denji can't believe it, Nayuta confirms this because not only Famy and Nayuta are sisters, but this Great King of Terror is their older sister. So now we have this really messed up family tree where Nayuta and Famy are trying to kill their big sister, who just happens to be the freaking King of Terror, the Death Devil. To quote Nayuta, this is how she describes her: the super duper strongest devil with the name feared most of all. While a little childish, my friends, this is the true villain of Chainsaw Man. It has to be. The Death Devil, the primal fear that everyone is afraid of. The devil of all devils. However, to counter that, Famy's plan in all of this is to make Chainsaw Man and the War Devil the most terrifying devils in all of existence, or at least as much as they can. And boys, you know what this means. Both Denji and Asa are destined at this point to team up and work together. Not only that, but this raises the stakes immensely with Yoshida and Asa, which now I sorta truly fear for his life, as there is no way Asa dies. It's just not possible. So here is the thing, y'all. This plan is great. It's pretty awesome. But wouldn't making the masses fearful of Chainsaw Man and War make the Death Devil supercharged as well? The reason being is because they'd be fearful of them killing everyone, like these masses, which they are obviously pinning on Yoru and Chainsaw Man. If they're afraid of dying, they'll be afraid of death, which would, in theory, make her stronger, along with Denji and Asa. However, in my Discord, I asked this question, and someone in my Discord named Godzilla, I hope I pronounced their name correctly, they brought up that wouldn't the Unknown Devil be more feared than the Death Devil? And I also said, well, also, wouldn't this make the Death Devil more powerful too? And they replied, most people fear death because they don't know what happens next. Same with darkness, angels, hell, and all death-related fears. That's pretty true. So while the Death Devil, I think, is the final villain of Chainsaw Man, there still is some question left up in the air. Either way, this was a banger chapter. Man, oh man, are these people that were complaining about Chainsaw Man's apparent bad pacing, they're looking a little weird right now, aren't they? Because honestly, this just changed everything about the series as we know it. And I think Fujimoto, he cooked for a long time, and I think he's delivering pretty much everything he said he would deliver on. So I can't wait to see where future chapters of Chainsaw Man go, but one thing we can be sure of though is that since it's mentioned they held weddings in Canada and China, this must mean that Japan won't be the setting for much longer in Chainsaw Man. The reason for why I think this is because, well, if you die in Canada, you die in real life, which means that the Death Devil would be dead for sure if they were killed in Canada. You guys, this chapter was massive. So if you love Chainsaw Man like I do, then please hit that subscribe button. We're gonna have so much Chainsaw Man content to talk about, and you absolutely do not want to miss it. Also, with last week's chapter, we gained over 40 subs and 42 comments and nearly 300 likes. So let's work together to smash last week's video and make this our biggest Chainsaw Man video yet. As well, if you're new to the channel, check out my previous Chainsaw Man content. If you like what I do here, then financially support the channel by becoming a patron, where you'll gain access to my mega One Piece arc reviews. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.